Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
He's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another Weirdos Only preview. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. So, so today's preview, we get into some P. Diddy stuff. Actually kind of turned into a little bit of a testimonial for Humbly and Heidi a little bit. But it was a fantastic conversation, and I think you guys should definitely follow Heidi at Unfiltered Rise podcast, and check out Humbly on Instagram. That's humbly_awake_. They're both fantastic people. I really enjoyed having them on. Gonna have them on again. But yeah, it kind of seemed like the two ladies kind of like hit it off, and they're close together too, and for location. So yeah, I look forward to hopefully hearing an episode of them together on Heidi's podcast. Also, Humbly's thinking about starting her own podcast, which I think would be fucking awesome. But anywho, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's preview, and hopefully it'll entice you to check out the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get a free coffee mug. You get the Conspiracy Tuesdays and the story time. You get early access to the episodes. But if you don't jump on the Patreon wagon, that's okay. I really don't give a fuck. I enjoy these conversations, so I'm gonna keep doing it no matter what. So I just appreciate you guys being here for the normal show, and so like, follow, share, subscribe. That's the best free way. Leave a review and a rating and a review. Those are fantastic ways to support the show as well. And repping the merch is a good way to help the show grow. I just did Encounter Quest this past weekend. It was a lot of fun. Hung out with some cool friends, sold some hot sauce, sold some t-shirts, gave out some stickers. So I think that's about it. Might have some new sponsorships. Don't know yet. So anywho, I hope you guys enjoy this preview of Conspiracy Tuesday 11. And I hope you guys have a blessed motherfucking day.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird, get weird.
everybody. Welcome to another Conspiracy Tuesday. I'm so happy to have you here. You know, it should be a good time. So today I have two guests. I have Heidi from Unfiltered Rise podcast and Humbly Awake. You can find her on Instagram where she makes some amazing content, which is humbly underscore awake underscore.
Yes.
And that's where you can find her. But if you don't mind, ladies, we'll start with Heidi, letting them know, the people that may have not heard you on the last couple hundred episodes that you've been on, a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. I'm Heidi Love. Welcome. I'm happy to be here. It's going to be a fun time. I'm at the Unfiltered Rise. I'm everywhere podcasts are served. I do have a Patreon for my Blood Atonement series, and these episodes will be on there as well. So join me there. All about murders, Mormons, and mayhem. Might be surprised Ted Bundy was a Mormon, just so you know.
I did not know that. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Mormons are freaking, they're just showing me how weird the fuck they are every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mormons are crazy. Yeah. You have to be in it and then get out of it to know it, though, because you just think it's normal otherwise.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
Yes.
All right. So, Humbly, if you don't mind letting everybody know that hasn't heard you on the last episode that you were featured on, a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Humbly Awake, and I teach critical thinkers how to read skeletal structures, specifically on celebrities in Hollyweird. So these are people who are in the occult religion and they worship a transgender god, Baphomet. I'm not talking about the everyday person walking down the street who thinks that they're shaped like a man, or, you know, people who you're trying to look out in public. I'm talking specifically about the people who are in the occult religion and are doing this as they pay homage to their god. So that's what I do.
Awesome.
Nice. So, for everybody listening and or watching, because I do a preview for the YouTube. So, if you're not following either Humbly or Heidi, please do so. They're both amazing people. I enjoy talking to them. And they put out some amazing content. And definitely check out Heidi's podcast and all the podcasts that she's featured on. They're all amazing as well. So other than that, like, follow, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And if you want, jump on the Patreon. If you don't, that's totally fine. I'm just happy that you're on the regular channel. So, but yeah, so let's get into it, ladies. So
he became the I'm serious, like the Riddler,
probably.
But he's the Diddler. Yeah, because he's
real quick.
He's
I've been
disgusting.
watching TikTok videos on Justin Bieber and about
Poor
him
kid,
with
man.
like as a kid, 14, 15 years old, with Puff Daddy, or P Diddy. I'm sorry, with Diddy, and he's like. Diddy says to him, well, we don't even hang out like we used to. And he like visibly becomes super nervous. And I'm just like, oh,
it's gross. Well, because do you know why they hung out? Like, so for 2 full days, they have him on video saying like, we're going to do whatever we want for 2 full days. And I have custody of this boy for 2 full days. And you can have this Lamborghini when you're 16 and he's 15 at this point. And he's like, and you can have this house when you're 18. And he's like all excited. You could tell, but he's like talking about, you know, I had custody of Usher, right? And he's like, I had custody of Usher when he was 16. And he lived with Diddy for a full year. And he's just like all excited. And we all know that Bieber does some weird MK Ultra business sometimes. Like his eyeball goes cuckoo and like some other stuff. And I get that he might have like a health problem. There's stuff that way, but like something happened to him. And then like they stayed that 2 days. And then that video that you're talking about came out after, when he was like, I don't want to see you. And you popped up at my recording studio. Awkward ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Like it was stalkery.
Yeah, right. There's probably handling going on, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, handling for sure.
A 13-year-old girl, you better believe that's handled. Like that's just something.
Think about
stuff
like Miley Cyrus, Dolly Parton, like those situations, like Mariah Carey,
JoJo Siwa. Yeah.
Oh. Yes. Like
poor
those,
JoJo.
Lohan, all the Nickelodeon people, like all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all lose it
The
at some point
Nickelodeon.
because they break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Amanda Bynes. Like, I think about that. Amanda Bynes, the Olsen twins, like all of these child stars, like have these mental breakdowns. Does nobody ever stop to think why?
Yes.
Why is this happening?
Exactly.
All the kids
I-
that worked
I-
with Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show, a bunch of them
Yeah.
went cuckoo.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous that we got the Quiet on Set documentary that comes out and everybody's like, "Oh, mind blown. I can't believe this happens in Hollywood. And I can't believe this happens under supervision of like supposed good people or whatever and blah 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 blah." I'm like, this has been happening since Hollywood was established. I mean,
Yes.
have you not read anything of what happened to Judy Garland on the set of frickin' Wizard of Oz?
And as of March 5th, they are still considered kosher and still considered blessed. And they haven't announced when they're going to do the sacrifice because Israel is actually worried because Jerusalem is where they have everything set up. It's already done. Like they have all the old ones, which they have to burn in addition to the new ones. When they do the sacrifice, they have to have the ashes. They have everything. But they were worried about like how many people would come there because this is such a huge thing. So they were talking about doing it on Passover. So I don't know, the actual Pasch, not Easter, So
Yeah.
The father knew when it was time to go get the bride. He had the last say so. So the son could prepare the room, build on the addition, but at the end of the day, it was the father's decision. So the bride would oftentimes like sleep in her wedding dress and stuff to always be ready and waiting. And when the time was to come, they would go and blow a trumpet out in the streets and wake everybody up because oftentimes it would happen at night. The father would like wake his son up and be like, go get your bride. And so they would blow the trumpets out in the street. And then the people who were asleep, they would stay asleep. The people who were ready and excited for this would go, and then the groom would see the bride for the first time, and there was a tradition where they had to lift her up off the ground, like what it talks about in scripture, how we're going to be lifted up, a bride. And then they would celebrate for like 7 days. And once those doors were shut to the wedding celebration, they were shut and you could not get in if you were not ready and following them and doing the wedding celebration. So the parallels and the symbolism between that and like Jesus coming to get his bride are crazy. But I didn't realize that or know about that until like maybe like a year or two ago. But super interesting.
something crazy. Let me look. Tommy Colin's podcast.
Tell him.
Colin.
Tell him.
Yes.
Tell him.
And so
Let's get freaky.
Let's get freaky. And I told all about it. And it's like some really weird stuff with Italy and spirit stuff and Minerva and Medusa.
Oh, yeah,
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I heard you talk about it on Middle Aged and Creeped Out too.
Oh, Middle Aged, yes. Mako, yes. I'm on so many now. I'm like, where was I?
I told so many people about you. I'm like, hey, you should have this lady on your show.
I tell people about you. Did Janet get a hold of you?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
She asked me for a bio, and I was like, oh, fucking A. I'll write another one because I don't have any like a bio saved or anything.
She doesn't mean like that. You can just send her anything. She's sweet.
Yeah, so
she's
I did.
Great.
I did,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Oh, we're gonna get along." And I go,
"Oh yeah."
Good.
She checks because she's Christian podcaster too, and so I've sent her a couple people where she's like, "Nah, that's good. I'm good." Ex-Mormon people usually she's like, "Heidi, don't." I'm like, "I'm sorry. I didn't know." You're going to press Mike Tyson? You're going to press Mike Tyson in his prime. He bit somebody's ear off.
Like, look at his jewels, and then he moves and moves.
He picked his hand up like this. Look.
Yeah. Yeah. No, doesn't happen. And then Diddy's just like.
Yep. He just sat there like, how dare you touch my hand? Because he literally did this.
Yeah. He's
it
like,
was
get
the
this
best
fucking hand
ever.
away from me.
Yeah. And then even Cat Williams talks about like you got to let him know like it's a no is no, but I'm like I bet most people don't though. Like all of them that have been in a dress, I'm just like well.
Yeah, LeBron James has been in a dress.
So has Post Malone. So has Nirvana.
Malone.
So has most of them. And I do believe that you speaking of the one guy reminds me of it. What's his name? They killed him and Kate Spade. I know it. Like they killed the guy from. Why can't I think? My husband loves him. Gosh, what's his name? Tool. Right? Is it Tool, the guy that died? Oh, he's super famous. My husband would know. Maybe not him. He's the guy that they said he killed himself, but he was all beat up and like he hung himself. And he's like a super famous.
Was this recently?
Chris
Cornell.
Yes.
Soundgarden.
You, Kevin.
Yeah, the guy I was literally just talking about his band. About Black
Hole
Sun.
That's why I said you're speaking of Black Hole Sun, and I couldn't remember his name.
Okay,
Chris Cornell and Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain were all going to expose a whole bunch of people that were putting into this overseas charity for kids. And they were trying to help kids, but actually they found out it wasn't helping anyone after the earthquakes in Haiti and all that. And then all of them ended up dead. But he hung himself, but he was all beat up. He was like, his ribs were broken, like crazy stuff. And they were like, yeah, he hung himself. And Kate Spade hung herself on a doorknob. Like, get the hell out of here. Nobody does that shit. Unless you've been in the military. The military do that. But I'm just saying, like.
They were talking about why can't I frickin' ever say his name? Avicii and Chester Bennington being in on that too.
Oh yeah, no, he was. No, Chester was for sure. I don't know about the other guy, but Chester was.
And there was something about with all of them, with all of that whole group.
That rabbit hole.
Dying.
If I die,
it was all red stars.
Yes, it was. And it was.
If I die, what?
Don't let it go uninvestigated. This stuff, I'm telling you, like this stuff is scary. Like everybody that started coming out about this stuff has been like pretty much silenced. Like you didn't hear any more about this.
It's your son-in-law. If that happens, it's him.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it probably is. He's scary. I'll send you a picture. He's got Nephilim head. But okay, I take it back. No, I don't.
I mean, but when you say like, don't fear those who can do your hurt your body. Like, if they want to, you're doing me a favor. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's true. There was, if you look under that, it goes into the weird Clinton aid that went to the kids in supposedly in Africa and some other stuff too. It was all with kids, and they were pissed when they found out that it really wasn't going to them. And they were going to break it down, and then all of a sudden, all of them are dead. I don't know about that.
Very weird. Because Avicii, before Avicii died, he did a music video that was a lot like the Yummy thing, where it shows them running away from, I guess, like him as a child with another girl, like children running away from like these people that were keeping them captive.
Ew. It doesn't surprise me. Like after you research some of this stuff and you go down that rabbit hole, you're like, they're all sickos.
I stopped.
But look at back in the olden days, like this wasn't new. Like I mean, like what's his name? Elvis married an underage girl. That was a big deal back then. That was the big deal back then. Or cheating on your wife or being gay. That was like the secrets back then, right? John Kerwin, who he has a channel called Wake Up or Else, and he's really big, but he does Mandela effect on the Bible. I'm sorry, it is a thing. There was the wolf laid down with the sheep. Get out of here with that. It was not. It was the lion and the lamb. I remember it. I was a kid. I only remember it because I'm a Leo, and I know we're not supposed to like astrology, but I did. And I was like, it's a lion because I knew it was because I was a kid and I remember this. And now it's not. It's the wolf. And they'll tell you, and you can find any Bible clear back to the oldest Bible of time. It says wolf. Jesus was brown. That's a lie, by the way. Like I tell my kids all the time, because I'm like, no, he's not from here. He didn't look like us. Not a thing. So that they can understand, right?
You want to see a picture of what he looked like in my dream? Look at this.
Was he brown?
This is what he looked like. Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this.
That looks like an angel.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing this, but let me tell you this. This was my dream exactly, and I'm going to show you a verbatim. So, hold on. I was looking up because he had very distinct eyes, and I was trying to look up pictures that looked the most similar to him, and I saw this, and I was like, okay, that looks a lot like what he did in my dream, but this specifically, I was trying to show people on live, and I was like, this looked exactly like my dream. Like he was right there.
It looks like Kevin. Just kidding, Kevin. You're reflecting in there.
I know.
So I was down here looking up. That's the atomic thing that I saw, and he was right there
Wow.
staring at me. And I was like, that looks exactly like what I saw, and it was like labeled Jesus' return or something like that. And I was like, I
She's
was like,
freaking out.
yeah. And then
I
Wow.
believe it.
it was
amazing.
crazy.
It's coming.
It is.
Well,
and
it's coming, and I know that for a fact. Like, I know that time has never felt shorter.
Yeah.
And it just does.
Yeah. I think
You blink.
there's
Yeah.
been an awakening. There's so many people like that I know of, that were used to think one way, and then all of a sudden it's drastic. Like I was one of them. I was like very like
That is not mean. That is respect for yourself.
right.
And you've already learned that at a young age. And at my age, even though I look super young, people still do that to me all the time. But I will not put up with it anymore. And I'm not mean. I'm just direct. And you have every right to end a conversation, meeting, a connection, a whatever, and say, you don't have to be mean. You can just say, I'm not going to continue this conversation.
Mhm.
That gets a
Absolutely.
lot of wake up. Like, you don't have to banter back and forth, and you don't have to put up with that. You just end the conversation and say, I'm sorry, I think we're mishearing each other. Maybe we can go apart and think about it. You don't have to be disrespectful back. You can just say, I've said what I'm going to say, and this is how I stand on this issue, and no matter how long we speak about it, I'm not going to change it. So that's how I feel. And so, they can do with that what they want. That's not mean if you're protecting your interest,
I'm
right?
going to say that from now on. I'm not going to continue this conversation if you're going to talk to me in this rude manner.
Yeah. Well, don't even say rude. Say, if we are just at this point talking in circles, so this is not doing us any good, because actually the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. So I'm going to exit now, and you can call me back when you have a different opinion. Thanks. Like, I'm the boss for a reason. Bye.
For pregnancies, he's gotten kicked out of the military for his religious beliefs. We're helping people break out of the elite system. We're homeschooling our children. We're home full time. Like, God has exponentially blessed our marriage. I think he's hopefully working on him. Like, my faith is stronger, but I think that once I got that down of like, this is who I am, then I stopped looking. I mean, it still kind of hurts when my mom, like, you saw how she makes fun of me. She's crazy. She thinks that I'm doing bad by my kids because they're not in public schools, all the bad things. And it's just like, that hurts when you don't have acceptance from your parents. But I think that I'm doing amazing. Not in a
But you're not cutting her out of your life. You're not disrespecting her. Like, look at what my kid did. You could have easily done that. And instead, what you do is accept her for who she is. That doesn't mean you approve of everything she does. You can love someone and not like what they do. Every day. Yeah. You bless and release, man.
Yes.
We bless and release it, and God will work on them. And that's what you pray for. You pray, God, please work on this part of me and my mom's relationship, or please work on this for my husband and I, or please. And God does give us 2 outs in the Bible. Well, 3 if you count death, right? So if they commit adultery, you can have a divorce. Or if they're a non-believer and won't actually ever come to Jesus, like, you're supposed to give them some time. But like, if it's not ever going to happen, And I've been in both of those positions, and I understand it, because you kind of know when it's right or wrong. Like, for you knew, like, I think I'm going to go back and this is going to, be better. But like, for some of us, we don't get that. And that's okay too, because it led me down another road, and whether or not that was easy, which by the way, it was not, it was right, because I look at that man now and I'm like, oh my gosh, it got so much worse. Like, I did everything that you could think of, it just toilet, and I feel bad I actually have empathy for him, like, because I feel bad that is the case, because he's still the father of my kids, like, regardless, and you want the best for them. Like, I always pray, like, man, I hope he heals, I hope he can get better, but that's all we can do. That's all we can do. We can expose. And it sounds like you're on that, it sounds like, I know Kevin is, it sounds like you are, we're all exposing the evils of this world. And why do we do that? So we can help people. Like, we don't have to do this. Otherwise, you'd just be selfish and helping your family and yourself.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
It's hard. Yeah.
And I don't want to cut you off, but we're going to get cut
You're
off
good.
in like 30 seconds because we're about to hit 2 hours.
All right. Well, let's do
really
this.
sorry, but really
Sorry,
quick, just
I didn't
tell them
know.
where they can find you, Heidi. No, it's fine. I just
Yes.
noticed it, and I was like, oh, shit.
I'm so glad to have been here. This was a great discussion. Much love to you both. I'm so thankful to have met you.
Yes.
And Kevin, I love you. Say the sinner's prayer. Your Jesus is now. Get your name on the books before tomorrow, please.
Yes, ma'am.
You can find me at The Unfiltered Rise. I am Heidi Love. I'm all over, and I'm happy to have been here.
And Humbly?
I'm Humbly Awake. You can find me at humbly_awake_. I'm really blessed to have met both of you. Thank you, Jesus, for this conversation, to whoever it impacts. And thank you for having us both, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'm actually surprised that it didn't shut off the recording at 2 hours. So that's good. So, but everybody on the Patreon, I'm so happy that you're here. If you're watching this preview, please subscribe to the Patreon. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm so happy that you're just listening and a part of this. So like, follow, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Please go check out Heidi and Humbly on their pages. I would greatly appreciate it if you did that. And other than that, you know, question everything and stay weird.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky. When the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish.